Well, good afternoon, Israelites, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. I am your host, Jacob Israel, rocking the Italian hat, so no one is confused. Not that I care. I'm glad that you're here. Will you do me a favor? Will you smash that like button? Shebang! Because we got a fire show for you tonight. Show that I did yesterday. If you haven't seen it, it was part 1. You should probably check it out. It was really good. We talked about time travel and ghosts and a lot of things, a lot of eerie coincidence that came together. But today, my goodness gracious, if the ghost shut down my show yesterday, about 24 minutes and 30 seconds into the broadcast, well, there's a reason. Today we're going to find out as we take a look at what's tomorrow gonna be like? Welcome to Tomorrowland, my friends. Danielle makes fun of my thumbnails. She says, what the heck is it? Looks like a big mess. Got a lot of stuff there. That's Sauron's eye. Yeah, that's right. Strange, the pictures that they share. But listen, I want you all to tell me if you hear me okay. I want you to tell me that you're doing good. I hope that you're doing good. I got my Titus God's Champion t-shirt on just for this show to remind you all that no matter what we're facing, no matter how crazy it gets, it's best that you repent now, because let me tell you something, the day that we are in, I said it was coming, it's going to be shouted from the rooftops. You probably remember the news going around about that CEO from Astronomer. The CEO who was like a slave driver, who's very, very, very ruthless, had a beautiful wife, has beautiful children and everything else. He was caught at a Coldplay concert. When you find out how this is all playing out spiritually, adultery is in the land. Adultery. It's time to get right, everybody. It's time to get right. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm doing something a little bit different today. We're going to take it step by step because today is well, it's not August 1st. August 1st is what we're waiting for. Today is the 18th of July. Mercury has now gone retrograde. You know what that means? Anybody know what that means? Yeah, it's a big day, okay? In Leo, the lion. Mercury is known as the messenger planet. Did you know this? I had a feeling that big things were going to happen. Now it seems like big things are going to happen. And what are they talking about? They're talking about that list again. The ghost of Epstein. We can't get rid of the ghost of Epstein. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe ghosts, like I said on my last show, are going to haunt Congress. They just put through something huge when it comes to crypto. All of this stuff, some terrible fires. You probably remember the fire that took place. The Grand Canyon, the National Lodge, burnt to the ground. Huge fires. There was just a huge fire last night. 77 people died. How terrible. But the Tomorrowland stage that burnt to the ground, the fire that's attached to that, well, on the channel we've been looking at little connections and little ideas. And if you're new, just so you know, I think that everything has a reason. I think there's a purpose and a point to all things. And I think that when, God is trying to show us something, we should pay attention. And that's what I did with some McDonald's stuff. After today, you're going to tell me you're like 4 for 4. I don't know, is it 5 for 5? We got the earthquake. We got the landslide. We got the assassination. We got all of these things. Now we got the fires. Because we just had all these terrible floods. In fact, this concert, this Tomorrowland, was based on fire and ice. The orbs. It was like a frozen empire. Strange. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to pull this over here. And by the way, you could follow me on X if you'd like. This is the big news right here. Okay, this is the big Trump Swerve, because everybody thought we weren't going to do nothing with this. Now, all of a sudden, we are going to reveal it. President Trump says very clearly, based on a ridiculous amount of publicity given to this man, the ghost. I've asked the attorney to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. That's pretty interesting because I actually laid out a little bit of an idea of what I thought might be coming, and it seems like, well, this could be it. You know what Revelation 18 is? Because this is what's coming, my friends. This is what's coming. It's the fall of Babylon. That's right. After these things, I saw an angel come down from heaven. Just means a messenger from a higher place, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, Babylon the great is fallen, fallen, because it's become a habitation of devils, and every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird, and the nations have drunk the wine. The merchants have waxed rich. No more. We're going to get rid of that. We're moving on. So this was yesterday's show. All of these little ghost connections, right? The ghost hunter, Annabelle. This is what I wanted to get into yesterday because this is strange stuff. This demon hunter, Dan Riviera, he dies suddenly while touring the Annabelle doll, a doll that's made of filthy rags. Filthy rags. Just like we're made of. Haunted by the ghost plant. You see, there's a lot of ghost news. Danielle was looking all up about this ghost hairdo yesterday. It's hilarious. All of this that I shared, and here we go right now, once again. The burden of Damascus. Just a little while ago, I don't know if you remember, I put a little bit of a post out with this video right here, and exactly 7 months and 7 days from this video, what happens? Damascus is bombed. You can actually go to my X page. I'm not going to play this right now because I want to get into all of this because it's a lot to get into, okay? It's a lot to get into. All right, so we're going to come on over here and we're going to look at Annie. I'm going to come over to you for a second. I'm going to explain something. It's a lot of Annie stuff going on. The Book of the Dead, this is like the Egyptian, they're like their Bible, right? Okay, it's like a lot of stuff. It's got spells and a lot of cool stuff in there. I have it. I've never read it. I've tried to look through it. It's very confusing to me. But it was written supposedly by Annie. You remember Elon Musk just put out a little bit of a new avatar for his social media. His Grok 4, this most advanced AI, called Annie. Who here knows about Annie, right? Annie. Well, I'm going to pull this over so you can take a look. It gets a little deeper than this, okay? It gets a little bit deeper than this. This is what Annie by XAI looks like, okay? She's based on a character. Remember, we're talking about ghosts here. She's based on a character called Missa. A man, I guess. It looks like a man. Got a lot of influencers that are just fascinated with women and calling them men, by the way. But you could tell that they are almost identical, okay? Now, this character right here is known for the Book of the Dead. It's ironic because Annabelle, which is based on the rag doll Annie, why is there so much coincidence? You got to tell me. Everybody's here in the live chat. I see Rick. I see Jay. I see a lot of you here. You know what? And it's the first time I'm going to tell you, please hit that like button. Okay? Hit that like button. Because a lot of people should listen to this show. Michael Jackson. Smooth Criminal. I think I even maybe put him on the thumbnail of this somewhere too. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Elon Musk has put out a couple of memes. One of the memes was Michael Jackson kind of leaning forward with his gravity boots because a lot of people say that video is about time travel too because his music comes back to like the 30s, this like mafia thing. With his gravity, his little lean forward, and he leans forward. It was a really cool video. You probably remember it. I do. I'm Generation X. Well, he put out a meme looking down on Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, Annie. And he said something about how memes express things. Well, I find it interesting because this character right here, Annie from XAI, based on Miss Amane or Amane, I don't know how to pronounce it. She has power. Look at her eyes. They're very big, just like Annie's from XAI, very big eyes, right? I'm saying just look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. I know it's hard for a lot of weird old men because it's a very young looking, here, let me show you right here. See this? Look. Very young looking, right? They're almost identical, the two of them. I think it's a little bit much, but, it is what it is. But the fact that she is in Death Note, okay? It's an anime series, Death Note. Has to do, once again, with her. She has the power to, use the Death Note on other people. And she has these things called Shingami eyes or something like that, where she can know a person's name and their date of expiration. Death, ghost stories. This is what we're all about today on the show. And of course, Annie, based on Raggedy Annie, Annabelle, Annie, ghost story. Well, Annie, Are You Okay? The song is based on this, which is spooky because this is the rescue doll. You probably, if you ever, when you were younger, Rick Torres, thank you for the super chat. Did you learn how to life safe back in the day? In high school, they put you through. We all had to, press our hands on Annie's chest and then, blow air into her lungs. And we have to say again and again and again, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? And the irony here is Annie, that mannequin, that doll, here we go, another doll, right? The song Smooth Criminal, Annie that's where that line came from. Annie was designed in France by after the death mask. Okay, so they took an imprint of this Jane Doe who, died, drowned in the Seine River in France. And so it's spooky. You're literally kissing a dead young girl that was far too young and probably involved in, the wrong kind of lifestyle. Hence, she drowned. It's very spooky. Annie, are you okay? It's ironic. There's a lot of things that I'm going to share with you today on this show that are ironic and just honestly can't be explained. Annie, Annabelle, Annie. Okay, all very strange. The Ghost in the Machine, the companion AI inspired by Death Note's Missa Amane. The fact that it's also released by Grimes is pretty interesting too. Now, here is what we talked about yesterday a little bit. Okay, I played this. This was the trophy, but this is going to come into play right here. And these are the words that he's saying. I mean, if you want to just for a second, you can. This video actually went viral.
It's a trophy of the future.
Yeah.
It represents the past, the future, everything, the present.
And this will be at the White House for a little while.
Yes.
So if anybody needs a picture or anything, you can take it, but this is...
If you like it, Mr. President, it can stay here just on the third.
There you see it, right? It's very, very clear. There's a lot. And someone was sharing on X today that this gyroscope-looking thing, which is based on, you could probably see the designs on the left-hand side. Those are all symbols that were sent up for the aliens, okay? This was based on the Voyager that we sent up these, we sent up these discs. Okay, a lot of people compared this to Ezekiel's wheel, well, myself included. Now, Ezekiel's wheel, which has to do with a prophecy, which is connected to all of this stuff we're going to talk about soon. So it's important.
Of July, you should take it with me.
Let's leave it here
to the stadium to give it to the winners.
This is The Little Adventures of Baron Trump. We know that this is a books that were written in the 1800s, 1899 or so, and it was a time-traveling adventures. And of course, you can see the character looks very much like Donald Trump and Melania, and there's the gyroscope again. Very strange. And of course,
we can take a picture, then we'll bring it back here after the picture.
Let's do that. We'll leave it here. We'll have it in the White House quite a bit.
It
travels a little bit also.
I mean, come on. Very
But
strange.
I appreciate
Then
it.
he's
That's good.
given
And I
the
know
key.
this.
Now, what is that key? Remember an angel, a messenger was given a key over the bottomless pit?
This could,
Very strange. Portals, people. It's all about portals. Now, I have to tell you about this right here because this was not well explained on the last show. Tomorrow War is a movie that was a little while ago with Chris Pratt, and it is about time travel. There's a FIFA World Cup game going on in Qatar. This movie took place before the actual FIFA World Cup game. The score, it was like the movie predicted the score. And if you take a look on the back of these soccer players, you see one guy's number 8 and the other guy's number 18. This is from the movie. This is the scene right before the portal opens up, like a gyroscope looking opened up portal, and an army comes out and says, we are fighting a war in tomorrow. It's a future war. It's about time travel. And it's just ironic because the number 8 that's chasing the number 18, his name is Mason. All of this, to me, fascinating. Fascinating. So when we got cut off yesterday, I was a little bit bummed. Now, here is a depiction of Ezekiel's eyes. I'm just going to read this to you, but you stay with me because we have so much more to get to. Do me a favor, smash the like, especially if you're digging this because it's about to get really freaky. Well, this is a vision. Okay, now this is Ezekiel 1. It came to pass in the 13th year. Now, all of this stuff happened on the 13th, by the way. I just find that interesting. The 4th month, the 5th day of the month, I was among the captives by the river Cowbar. Okay, that means the great river. The heavens were opened, much like when God reveals truth to us, so we can have the heavens open for ourselves. And I saw visions of God. The 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Joachim's captivity. The word of the Lord came expressly to Ezekiel, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans. This is important stuff. Okay? Because, let me tell you why. Because all of this is a picture of us. Ezekiel's name, for example, means God strengthens. Does not God strengthen us? He was a priest. He was a priest that was the son of Buzi. Probably pronouncing it wrong. But do you know what Buzi means? It means contempt. It's kind of like life isn't that great. How many of us were born into a contemptible situation? Came from nothing. Humble beginnings, tough beginnings. In the 5th year of Jehoiakim's captivity. You know what Jehoiakim means? So in the 5th year of Jehoiakim, he was the king back then. It means God establishes. So God is going to establish the people and strengthen the people that were birthed in a lot of pain. This is a beautiful thing because what ends up happening is we're right next to this river. We're right next to something that's mighty that's going to come and is going to break for us. Now, we're among a group of people, much like Ezekiel was. Because in this day, it was like Nebuchadnezzar came in, right? They were taking captives. It wasn't a great time. It wasn't a great time. The Chaldeans, you know what their name means? People tied to wizards, sorcerers. That's what the name literally means. It was like in the land of wizards. All of this stuff is happening. It's a little bit much for me to just ignore, okay? So I think to myself, there's got to be something more going on. President Trump is talking all about August 1st. August 1st is the day he's going to make it rain, okay? He's going to make it rain. The White House put out a meme where it's just raining money on August 1st. Now, a lot of people don't have a lot of faith right now in President Donald Trump because of all this stuff. Me and the donut, we were talking just last night about all this. You know, of course, we want to see something good come out of all this. And we're thinking that maybe it's a little weird. I've said this before. I even posted about this too. It just seems a little weird and a little too, it's almost like, seems like a little too much on purpose. Things are being done a little bit too much on purpose. Now, I've compared President Donald Trump to Samson, the last biblical judge that comes in. And we've seen a lot of things that are attached to this. Fire being one of them, because he sets fire to the fox's tails. Wait till you see how this all ties into the foxes that, just the terrible fires that just happened. Very strange. So August 1st, I say there's got to be some kind of a crazy ritual or something going on. And there is. It's a Celtic holiday known as Lunastice or something. It's a Celtic first fruits harvest holiday. Wild. Wild. Okay? Because the fact that there's a harvest holiday happening on this, it's a first fruits. It's kind of like you better hope you got fruit on your tree. Okay? In your life, spiritually speaking. Now, you know, I got a fig tree. This fig tree's been through hell and back. I don't know how. I think this may be the 8th year I've had this tree. Last year, I had my first fruit. I tasted it. I didn't even think I was going to have one. It was amazing. Maybe I had I don't know, like maybe 10 to 12 fruit in the whole summer. My goodness gracious, if this fig tree hasn't grown and has become massive and is filled with figs, filled with fruit, so much so, I'm going to have to give baskets away. I feel like God's trying to tell us something. The first fruits harvest, you know, I really have a feeling, because I keep looking for a ripe fig. I think I have a feeling that on the first, I may end up having a beautiful little fig to eat. I don't know. Let me just show this to you, okay? I'm going to play this little video for you, and then we're going to get into the really great stuff, okay? August 1st, this Celtic first fruits holiday. Now, guess what they celebrate with? Straw dolls. Straw dolls. They make dolls. Annabelle, the demon hunter that died, moving the filthy rags doll. We are nothing but filthy rags. The harvest, what happens at the harvest is, you know, our filthy rags are taken away and we're given new clothes. The haunted Raggedy Annie. The rag doll, filthy rags. Strange. Okay? So this, by the way, this holiday, it honors the god Lu. Whoever that is. All right. Take a listen to this, and then we're going to get into the meat of the show. August 1st is a Celtic holiday called Lunastice, and it's about the harvest. It's the first fruits of the harvest. You probably know the first fruits of the harvest from watching my show, but this is a Celtic holiday. And the fig tree, which you know last year we had some fruit, first fruit ever. This year, I can't tell you, there is so much fruit on this tree. I can't even tell you. I don't even know if you realize how big this tree has gotten. The scope of what was so tiny last year has grown, and there is fruit all over the place. Not ripe yet, but by August 1st, it may be. Maybe I'll eat a fig. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like it's a good thing, but I've still got some of these bugs on here. Got to always be careful. You got to make sure nothing steals the fruit from you. I feel like August 1st here has grown and mute it. I mean, I wish you could all be here. So just take a look at this right here. Look at that. How crazy. Now this is like the pagan stuff, y'all. All right? This is like the pagan stuff. It's very interesting. All of these festivals that go on are very, similar to some of those that we know very well here. Pentecost. Look at all of the figs on that tree. And they're just getting better and bigger every day. I'm just blown away because the tree is massive. Massive. And I'm so very grateful because I tell you one thing, I'm one of those guys. Let me come back over to you before I get into the fire. I'm one of those guys that I look at everything like God has meaning. You know, if something happens and it's weird or it's spooky, like at the beginning of the season when it was starting to grow and I didn't know, I was snipping, branches. I'm not a skilled husbandman. I'm learning as I go. You know, when I saw those little bugs, those little lanterns The red lanterns. They're this invasive bug that is everywhere now. And they say when you see them, you kill them because they live off of the fruit tree. And guess what their tree is known as? The tree of heaven. They're attracted to the pungent smell of the tree of heaven and, in particular, fig trees. It's wild. Wild to me. It was really infested at first. Now I see maybe one or two. I go out there, I crush them. Crush them like bugs. Little annoyances, little things that can steal our fruit and rob it away. Okay, so you should probably check out the Donut Show on this. I haven't watched his yet, but he's always, I mean, that's pretty cool that the smoke made this interesting face right here, right? Nobody was hurt. I love the fact that the picture that I picked, my goodness, it looked like it had Sauron's eye on it. You know, that's the Tomorrowland set in the background, by the way. Just so you know. Yeah. Wild. Tomorrowland. Now, let's start to dig into some really kooky stuff. As if we haven't already. All right. Let's start to dig into some kooky stuff. All right. Let me pull this up. Is everybody enjoying the show? Tell me in the live chat in the comment section. I appreciate you all being here. Let's take a look at it. All right. So, this Tomorrowland thing, this is wild. Okay. Because let's go down here and let's just open them all up. Okay. Let's open them all up. Here we go. Hear me out. You see that? Yes, that is a snack wrap, my friends. Okay, so on July 9th, this is wild. Okay, on July 9th, I put this little post out. I said, McDonald's snack wrap got me feeling all sorts of fire vibes. 1031, I looked up what the code was for fires. It references the National Fire Protection Association qualifications for a fire inspector. So the fire inspector needs to be, qualified. He needs to match everything that is in the 1031. If you look at, people are asking me, how did you get fire out of this? First of all, it looks like a lighter. Looks like he's holding a lighter. Second of all, setting my alarm. You're setting your alarm for 1031. What are you, lazy? You inside? Prophet Bear became a member 3 months now. Thank you, Prophet Bear. By the way, everybody, I want to thank you. More of you have joined up to be channel members. That's like $4.99 a month to me. That's like a huge deal. I get it. I really appreciate it. The more people that do that, the easier it is for me to do this. And for all of you that, support the channel, you get the merch and everything else. I got a post right now of Joshua wearing the buckle up shirt, looking all like a superhero, looking like Superman. I encourage all of you to go to my X page, throw a picture of yourself wearing the merch. It would make my day. It really would. Because this is a day when it's nice to have a bunch of friends around you and a bunch of like minds. So, I was thinking, this is weird, right? Maybe there's a fire coming. So I wrote, oh man, maybe it's the writer in me, but I got fire vibes. And then guess what happens next? Then I put this out. I said, hear me out, like laughing out loud, right? I know it seems goofy, but kind of looks like a lighter, right? Then guess what McDonald's puts out? I made this for you. And then I made a joke. I said, seriously, I'm beginning to wonder something here. I said, are you beginning to see what I mean? You think McDonald's made me this image? Joking around. But then I said, first come the floods. We talked about it in the show. Then comes the fire. I made this for you. Wild. Wilder still, I put out a list of all the fires that have happened. Okay? The massive fire that engulfed the 5-floor shopping mall. Okay? This just happened. 77 people have died. It's horrible. Horrible. And once again, was it a fire inspector? Were they up to the standards? Did they do everything right? What was the reason? Was there a code? Then, of course, the Tomorrowland. Huge fire on the 13th. Thank you, Rock Shepherd. Oh, I like that name for the super chat. Rock Shepherd. That's nice. That's nice. Then we had, so here's a Tomorrowland fire. Look at that. That kind of does still look like the Hour of Sauron. It's another view. This is a Belgian festival, okay, in the town of Boom. Boom. This is what it's like when the Lord works, people. Boom! Boom! And then, of course, there was another fire, and you probably heard about this in the living facility. Once again, 1031. Is it an issue? Is it an issue with the, the inspection? Were there code violations? Were the people that were supposed to inspect it, were they up to everything? And then, of course, the dragon wildfire burns down the historic lodge, triggers toxic gas leak. The Dragon Bravo fire. Really? Grand Canyon? I mean, these are significant fires. Significant fires. Significant. But it got weird because today I felt like I was missing something because I like to really have that little caveat and said, oh, look at that. Look at that, how it came together, right? I love that little hit. Look at how it came together. Today, Nicholas, once again, always sending me cool stuff, sends me Vincent Cripps from X. Let me see if I can just show this to you. Let me pull this. This is nuts. Let me get rid of this. Hang on a second. Where is it? I'm going to have to pull it up on my own. Hang on a second. Let me go to X. This is crazy. Sorry, I thought I had that pulled up. So here you can see, I put a lot of... Oh, and of course, how wild is this, right? Time travel is right now the Babylon Bee. Liberal goes back to kill. Of course, everybody's talking about this stuff. Well, here we go. Test complete. All right? Test complete. So I put that test up and I said, my suspicions, past McDonald's snack wrap posts may hit at a significant fire event, turns out to be true. And then I write, for entertainment purposes and to encourage your faith, just so no one locks me up and says I'm crazy. Because I'm not crazy. I just like to look at things, and it's interesting to speculate. Because God does say that you'll know tomorrow by the things that are happening right now. I get a little inspiration. Setting my alarm. What are you talking about? A fire alarm? Code violations? Are we talking about facilities burning down? What? Yesterday I outlined all the horrible fires that I just read to you. Nicholas, you should follow his account. He's awesome. Sent me Vincent Cripps' post about, and he's a huge influencer, possible Phoenix time themed next year. So he puts out a post. Here, let me show you this post. Tomorrowland pyramid burnt down, and now the new theme is rise above the ashes. Ashes, ashes, they all fall down. Samson's ashes, rising from the ashes, with a flying phoenix. He says, this was no accident. So this is the concept idea for, I guess, next year. And I haven't totally verified it, but there are a lot of people saying it. So here we have this, the fire that takes place Tomorrowland, dealing with time travel. Of course, right now we have all the news that's going on with the cryptocurrency. There's the Phoenix rising. They just put through the stuff today. Tomorrowland, which has to do with the land that you're living in tomorrow. Future proves past, past proves future, whatever, however it goes. And so what do? I remind you, Phoenix, fire. I wasn't joking. Water then fire. How wild. Tomorrowland, significant. This story is very significant. It's just bizarre because, of course, everything's about this new currency. If you have any kind of crypto right now, you're probably very excited because they're jumping through the hoop. They're the roofs. But that's wild, right? That's wild. Like when I put the post out and I was like, Grand Canyon burnt down, assisted living home burnt down. Now we have this terrible mall burnt down. These are terrible events. Fires. We had all the flooding events. Flood then leads way to fire. Christ comes as a consuming fire. When Christ is revealed, fires will be in the land, spiritually speaking, but also naturally. I guess, seems that way. So significant, this Tomorrowland, stage. So significant, but not as significant as the Coldplay set. I broke that down and I shared that out, and it's too much. Wow, we got a lot of people here, and I thank you for hitting the like. I probably should do the show a little bit later or a little bit earlier, but I get so excited when I'm done. I want to get it out to you. So please do share it around and tell people about it. All right, so let me pull this up and let me show you what's next here, because this is where it gets very interesting. Look at all of these fires. How terrible. Gabriel House. 10 people. 10 people. Yesterday's news, the 10th person passed away. It's weird. So you got to tell me in the comments section if you think after, 5 of these speculations having to do with all of this stuff that we're hearing about from McDonald's, ironically, do you think? Let me know in the comments section, because I think it's weird. If there wasn't that Phoenix afterwards, Tomorrowland, 7 days from when McDonald's posted it, come on. It's strange. Now, here's something that's going on right now with President Donald Trump. You probably heard about this. He's got a blood condition. That's very significant because the life of the body is found in the blood. And that's Hilly Appleseed on X, another Israelite who is awesome. Check her out, follow her. Without the shedding of the buds, which is soulish thinking, the nephesh, the soul of the body, is found in the blood. That's Leviticus 17:11. Okay? So it's odd that he has a condition of blood. Does he have a condition? Does that mean that he has a little bit of an issue with the soul? But really, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. And at the same time all this is happening with the crypto, U.S. Debt Clock comes out with this. The switch. The switch flipped. 1208-717. Okay? Interesting because, of course, on March 17th, flip was something that was coming. I said to turn something on, U.S. Debt Clock, sometimes all you need to do is flip a switch. The X is the Tav, the Great American Eclipse. This is all about the day when correction comes. So that was exactly 16 months. Now, why is this important, this 16 months? Because it's connected to Ezekiel, and it's connected to Ezekiel 16. Let me just pull this up for you. Okay, now, here is the info that I wanted to get into right now with this adulterous couple. Now, this guy, man, this guy is not great, okay? Let's slow everything down so you can really feel how awful, right? You can actually hear the lead singer, Chris, from Coldplay, saying,
"Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what?"
Now, ironically, there's a guy that comes in behind and he puts up 1-1. He puts up the 11. And they're all cheering, right? How wild is that? How wild is that? Now, doesn't that look like a portal? Well, that's what everybody was saying. That they were revealed. Everything that is hidden will be revealed. What did I say was going to happen? Everything that was revealed is going to be hidden. Now, here's the wild part, okay? Here's his ex-wife. Here's his sons. This is all over. I mean, I guess they're old enough. That's his family. And he's committing adultery, okay? And this is, by the way, when the president's diagnosis of the blood condition, this is highly symbolic, July 17th. Chronic venous insufficiency. It's a really painful thing too. You have to wear like compression socks, compression, stuff. It's very sad. I love you too, Joseph and Denise and Rock and Jude and Everybody's here. Crystal Fire's here. We got a lot of people here. This is great stuff. All right. Here's the thing. All right, because I'm going to break this down one by one, but I want to look at you, so you're not just looking at the screen here. This story is about he is the CEO of Astronomer. Now, do you know what an astronomer is? Tell me in the live chat. Let's see if you could tell me my description of what an astronomer is and what yours is. They may be a little bit different, okay? But I'll tell you one thing. They are all connected to Scripture, because an astronomer looks to the heavens. An astronomer is searching for heaven, searching for the stars. And in Scripture, the stars are us, the Israelites. We're the stars that fell, okay? So astronomers, they're searching for stars. This is wild. His name is Andy Byron. Andy means manly, right? Like Andrew Tate manly. It's ironic because I have a comment connected to something he put out about really what's the point of marriage? Is there any benefit to it? This guy. And I said that there is a great benefit to it. I'm going to show you that in a second. But Andy means manly, and his last name means from the cow barn, which is smelly, filled with poop. The manly man from the cow barn. No room for Christ in the cow barn, right? Christ becomes our meal, ends up in tell me in the live chat if you know what it's called. The manger, which is a feeding trough. No room where everybody, at the inn, where everybody's drinking and having a good old time. All the rooms are rented for people to cheat on their wives and everything else. It wasn't a great time. In a manger, that's where Christ is found. So the animals can eat. You get it? All right. I'm going to show you this because I want you to follow along, because I broke it down on X. So, astronomer, manly from the cow barn, and here is Kristen Cabot, which means follower of Christ and sailor, right? We're all kind of like sailors. We're on a mission. Followers of Christ, supposedly. We've been cheating with a married man from the cow barn, if you will, spiritually speaking. You'll see what it means in a second. We're spotted on and betrayed by a kiss. Cam, you see where I'm getting at this? At a Coldplay Gillette, which is known for what? Shaving your hair. Samson had a problem with his strength was all in his hair, right? Thought he was so strong, and he was. Burned it all down with all that hair. Isn't that right, Iwan? Thank you for the super chat. And that's right. Hit the like. That was nice that you did that. I appreciate the super chat. So look at all of the symbolism here. Gillette Stadium. The Foxborough. The foxes spoil the vines. This is where it happened. The guy got his hair shaved. He was shamed. The fox ain't going to spoil the vine anymore. Now, Chris Martin, which means Christ, Martin, which means warlike. He said either they're having an affair or they're very shy. Now, the viral clip fueled rumors. The CEO of Astronomer, one who searches for heaven, powers an AI-driven data pipeline, which is called Astro, which means star. Platform on Apache, which means enemy airflow. You look at the news, you put it together with new eyes. I'm going to read this to you because it's wild, okay? You put it together with new eyes and you have the manly cow barn dweller was said to be a tyrant over those working to search for heaven. Using an enemy platform, he forsook his beautiful wife and committed an affair with human resources. But a warlike Christ called out this leader's sin for all the world to see. Do you see? Now we have Trump's blood condition. The wheels of Ezekiel are spinning round and round, which is Ezekiel 1, which I can read to you if you want, because A lot of people want to know what these represent, what these animals represent. They represent natures and man. It's a time when all of the aspects come together in unison with Christ. These living creatures that have 4 different faces, a bull, an ox, an eagle, a lion, and a man. And they have feathers, they have wings. These wings, which by the way, cover them and stretch up. It's God's protection, God's salvation. It's a picture of all of us. They only move forward. They don't need to turn because they have 4 faces going, right? They don't need to turn because if you need to have that, you need to work like an ox to get something done, you'd switch over to that mode. If you need to be, like that eagle, you need to be able to see things from a distance and, make sure you can cut things off before they get out of control, or like that lion. All working together in one. It's very, very interesting to me. And the names mean something too. In Ezekiel 1, hang on, let me pull this up. Let me see if I have it. I looked and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north and an immense cloud with flashing lightning surrounding by brilliant light. A windstorm. God comes in a windstorm, okay? A cloud, great cloud of witnesses. And what is coming out of them? Flashes of brilliant light. You're also brilliant. You're getting such great revelation and you're sharing it and you're moving together in one accord. It's a beautiful thing. The appearance of them was like humans, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight. Their feet were like a calf and gleamed burnished bronze. Under their wings, they had 4 sides. They had human hands. All of them. In other words, lifting the wings up together. We're all coming together. This is a picture. This is a picture. Now, Ezekiel was this prophet who, by the way, after he has this vision of God, he has the vision of God. He understands. In the land of wizards and warlocks and sorcerers, which is the Chaldeans, he understands, he gets it. He sees this vision of a day where there's going to be this great group of people. And man, before them, it's going to be, it's going to be like the Garden of Eden. Behind them as a desert wasteland, because all of these things work together. Everyone who quotes Proverbs will quote this proverb about them. Like mother, like daughter, you're a true daughter of your mother who despised her husband and their children, and you are a true sister of your sisters who despised your husbands and their children. Your mother was a Hittite, your father was an Amorite. This is having to do with Ezekiel later calling out all of the adultery that was in the land. He actually says, hear the word of the Lord. He says, because your lust was poured out and your nakedness uncovered in your prostitution with your lovers, just like this guy, and because of your detestable idols, and because of the blood of your children that you gave them, I will gather all of your lovers together against you. This is what God's saying to who? He's talking about the daughter of Jerusalem. Wow, thank you for that super chat very much, One Deep. So thanks for allowing the Spirit to lead. I mean, I hope we all are led by the Spirit. That's what we're supposed to do. Ask God, tell me what I got to do. Tell me what even before I come here, I say, oh, Lord, don't let me be misled. I don't want to lead anybody wrong. I have a pretty good track record of speculating things and they happen, but I'm no sorcerer. I'm no wizard. Wizards aren't as good as people that are serving God. Let me tell you something. Just ask Moses. Just ask Aaron and his rod. What did his rod do to the serpents that the wizards threw out? Gobble them all up. Hear the word of the Lord. This is what he says. I will gather your lovers against you. Isn't that what's happening with the Epstein list? This is the day when nothing that is hidden will not be revealed. How long have I been saying to all of you, we need to get it together. We need to get our stuff together. You repent. If you repent right now, okay, I'm not saying that your past isn't going to come up and be thrown in your face. If it is, just take ownership of it. I've made a mountain of mistakes, okay? I've talked about a mountain of mistakes. all over the years. I'm not going to get into I can't even get into how many things over the years that I've thought was the right thing to do, and it turned out to be wrong for me. How many times I thought, I knew better and I didn't know better. We all make mistakes, but you own up to it. You say, I'm going to do better next time. And then we forgive people that are like that. I mean, this thing that he did with cheating on his wife, right? It's like, it's horrible. He was exposed in such a way. It's a big company astronomer. The symbolism of this manly cow dweller, like Andrew Tate. Let me show you that, by the way. Let me show you that, because right now it's at almost 10,000 views. Let me just show you this. Transfer over. So he wrote, what's the benefit of marriage? And I see, sometimes I could be a jerk, okay? Sometimes I could be a little mean, because I see these people and I know what they do to people, and it really gets me down. I think to myself, this is really sad. You got so many young men that are really following after this guy like he's something special. What's the benefit of marriage for a man? He says, my God. And I got to tell you something. I'm a married man, happily married. I'm going on, guess what? 18 years of marriage this year. So I wrote commitment, true love, honor, dignity, lifelong compassion, companionship, strong family unit, children raised with both parents. The list goes on and on. The best reason for a committed relationship is to raise children who never grow up to become like someone who is lost like you. Man. And then this person says, those things men want in marriage, not the benefits. And I said, wrong. As a married man, those are benefits of marriage when you're a committed husband. You get what you put into it, and that's the truth. That's the truth. I had another person said that I sounded like I was raised by my mom, and I was. I said I was out of the house at 17, mother had me at 19, father abandoned me and left her and me in a project. Went on to have other kids, ran drugs. That was my father. Never met him. His last name. You want to know my last name? Everybody want to know what my last name is? I've said it before on the show. The first legal name that I was given, God gave me the Israel. I was inspired to take the Israel. McGlynn. Can you believe that? I guess, if I talk like this, I want top of the morning to you. I guess I could look like it's an Irish hat too. And then I switched to Italian real quick. You see what I do? This is what you get. This is what you got to smash the like for, people. You got to smash the like. So yeah. Now I have a profound relationship with my wife, all my children and everything else. I'll tell you, people, I don't think enough people actually really care about the fact that this happens more than you know, and it's sad. It's sad. There's a reason why I don't really, you'll notice if you ever DM me or anything else, I keep things very brief, very shy. I don't get into, I don't want friends. I don't need friends, I know a lot of people got great insight and everything else, but, I respect and I honor my wife. You know why? So I can go to bed at night and I don't got to worry about this. Because also, why would I want to do anything but be 100% faithful to the woman of my dreams, the woman I love so much? Man, we had it hard at first. We almost gave up, right away. We had a separation agreement and everything. Bad in the beginning when we first started, because we came out of such, our exes, God bless them, they're doing fine. Relationship with the kids and everything else. I was a single dad. My children just got back from visiting their mom, and they had a great time, and it's wonderful. But back then, everybody's young, things are hard. I lost everything. I gave everything. Gave the house, gave the this. I had nothing. I was living in some small little apartment above this crazy pothead's house. She was just a wackadoo. I used to do her lawn, and I'd clean her house for her so that I could get a break on rent while I had my 2 kids full time. And then I moved back to Long Island and I met Danielle. Then everything worked out. I ended up within a year's time of losing everything, had a brand new condominium, had my children full time. When you think all hope is lost, guess what? God's correcting us when we go through hard times. So when I got married again to Danielle, the Lord was like, you're not gonna mess this one up. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. Bad things happen. You don't play the victim. You don't think God's big enough to make these bad things work to your benefit, to get your attention? All the bad things got my attention. Are these bad things going to get your attention? You know, when you come to this show, when you're watching the show, do you leave? Do you pray? Do you ask for the truth? No matter what the cost, do you want to know more? You don't got to go to religion. I don't tell you to come here. This isn't a church. I don't get you to tithe. I would love it if more people supported. I could use the support. Patreon, PayPal, links in the description. Get a copy of the best novel going, The Calling. Amazon.com. Get yourself some truly free product. Best product going. Use code Jacob, 30% off. Get it to the house. All the links are in the description. You need to buy stuff for the house, right? You want to support the channel? Get some stuff for cheap that's good. Get 30% off, and I get a little cut. It's nice. Works out that way. He's a big fan of the channel. I'm a big fan. I said, we got to get together soon. I can't wait. I got great news for you all. Even in the darkest of nights, even when things look the worst, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. And how do they get better? When we start acting better. That fig tree went through hell and back over the last 8 years. This year, got more figs than ever before. August 1st, something is happening. Bookmark this or clip this or something. Something is happening, and it's going to be big. And I think it's going to have like very big political stuff. Maybe economic stuff. I don't know. I want to see the best. I want to remind everybody that I've compared Donald Trump to Samson for a long period of time. That Ezekiel passage that I read about, I'll bring all of your past lovers against you. It's symbolic of all the things that you left God for. God hates divorce. It doesn't mean if you got literally divorced that God hates you. No. The divorce God hates is with God. It's ironic because in Scripture, Jesus said very clearly, in the kingdom of heaven, there is no marriage, and no one is given in marriage. That's just not the way it is. The kingdom of heaven is righteousness, peace, and joy. The marriage we're supposed to have is to be one. He's the bridegroom, we're the bride. But if we got a blood problem, if we're not shedding that blood, maybe that has to be shed for us by shaming you. Gillette Stadium, cutting your beard off, cutting your hair off, like it happened to Samson. Samson was very powerful until what happened? He got involved with a girl he shouldn't have gotten involved with. And that girl was just trying to get some info on Samson. Use. What can we use? That's the big thing. What can we use against Samson? The girl came against Samson. Now we got all this Epstein talk. It's wild. So they bring Samson into the enemy territory, enemy camp. It's almost like being brought into a holy place. It's almost like being brought into the Capitol or Congress or whatever. Something that we consider to be a hallowed place. And what does Samson do? He's been shamed. He's been shamed. They mocked him. Everybody's mocking right now Donald Trump, our president, Donald Trump. Okay? I don't know about his past. I don't know about anything else. I don't know anything. I just know that everybody had the information for a long period of time. They didn't do anything with it. That's sus to me. They have this information. Now they're saying there's nothing to it. That's sus to me. It seems like somebody is either playing a game or this is enough. Put him down. And what does he do? In their camp, he tears it all down, sacrificing himself. Something like this could possibly happen. And I don't mean like literally, but I mean something like this. The Dan just called me, and she has peppers. She made stuffed peppers. She said I was supposed to be done by 5:15. She called me. She knows I'm going live. My wife, this is how our relationship works, right? You think she just go to YouTube, see if I'm live, okay? She's like, no, I'm going to remind him. I'm going to call because she knows that I play everything through my phone. That's my beautiful wife, my amazing wife. And does it bother me? No. I should have been done by 5:15. You want a happy marriage? That's what happens. All right, the ghost is messing with the screen. I love all of you. Please do go into the links in the description. Please share the video around. Tell me what you think of this show. I never know because there's a lot to it.